Okay, today I'm going to sit down here at the table because I'm going to have to do a little bit of drawing. So I think it'll come out better if I'm sitting here. So if you have any questions, just put your hand up high so I can see it. And we're on page 80, topic 2.3, drawing Venn diagrams. Maybe I should just show you problem number 1. I'll help you get your homework started. So I'm just going to erase what I have here and just start over. So I'm going to have a set A, a circle that I call A, and then another circle that I call B. Yeah. And then a universe, which is just a big box. Yeah. Maybe I can do this and maybe I can't. There. Everybody see what I've drawn so far? Okay. Now, the universe is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I could come up here and put in the universe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then it says A is the set 1, 2. So here's A, so I put 1 and 2 in A. Everybody follow what I'm doing? Then it says B is 1, 3, 5. So over here in B, I put a 1, a 3, and a 5. And when you look at that, you think, well, I've just done the problem. But you notice how 1 shows up 3 times? I don't want 1 in there 3 times. I just want 1 in there once. So watch this. If 1 is in the universe, and it's in A, and it's in B, then guess where 1 belongs? Right here at the intersection of A and B. You see that? Then I can take it out here, and I can take it out here, and I can take it out here. Everybody follow what I'm doing? And you don't necessarily see that when you first look at the problem. So that's why I'm showing you. You just start writing this stuff down, and then we go back and now I could turn my pencil upside down and erase it, but I think marking it out helps you see more of what's going on. And so now I have A. See how A still has 1 and 2 in it. Here's 1 and here's 2. And B has 1 and 3 and 5 in it. And the universe, now since I've got 2 here, I don't need 2 down here because 2's in A and 3's in B, so I can mark this one out. And 5's in B, so I can mark this one out. So the final answer, when you get through with this and look back at the answer key, it's going to show the universe has 4 hanging out here by itself. And then it has 2 in A and 1 in the intersection of A and B, and 3 and 5 in B. You follow what we're doing? This is called drawing a Venn diagram. Okay, let's go to now that was your first piece of homework that I just did for you. So now let's go to problem 2 and do some more practice with this stuff. Do the same as in problem 1, except now, and let's just do this again. I think this is just help you. Now the universe is A, B, C, D, E, F. So I just go A, B, C, D, E, F. Everybody see that? And then it says for problem 2, A, draw a big circle A, and then draw another big circle B, and A is ABC. So I just put ABC in here. And B is DEF. So it looks like ABC, A and B really don't intersect, do they? I mean, I've drawn them intersecting, but you see how A is ABC, B is DEF. There's nothing in common, so there's nothing to put in that intersection. So I could leave it like that, or I could push the two circles apart and have two separate circles. But the reason I can leave it like that is are there any letters where A and B intersect? And the answer is no, because there's nothing in there. You follow me? And if that's making you nervous, then you say, I could just draw my circles where they don't intersect. But I've got A, B, C, D, E, F, A, B, C, D, E, F. So everything in the universe is in A or B, so I just mark all this out. You follow me? Because there's nothing out here in the universe that isn't in A or B. You got that? Well, then let's try another one. Number 4. On page 80, problem number 4. The complement of A union the complement of B. Okay, let's just erase all this stuff here. And see if we can make some sense out of this. That's nice how my little pen just erases the last stuff I put on there, isn't it? That's kind of cool. Okay, here's A. Everybody agree that this is A right here? But that's not what I want. I want what? The complement of A, which would be everything where? Outside of A. Everybody follow that? And then I want the complement of B. So that would be everything outside of B. So I'll make my marks going the other direction this time. Everything outside of B. Now, what's the union? If I put together the complement of A and the complement of B, how much of this, if I was going to shade this in red, oh, let's shade it in green, that'd be more fun. If I was going to shade the union in green, do you understand where I would shade in? Any place where I have marks going either direction? If it said intersection, I would only shade the part that has marks going both directions. Intersection means what they have in common. Union means take all of both of them and put them together. So if I was going to shade the union in green, that would be everybody follow what I'm doing? That would be all of this, everything except that little place in the middle where there are no marks either direction. Does that make sense? Well, let's try 6. 6 says A, which would be these marks right here, everything in A, Everybody follow that? And the complement of B, that would be everything outside of B. All this stuff out here. Everybody follow what I'm doing? Making marks going both directions so you can kind of see what's happening. That's the complement of B. Now, what would be the union of those two? Any place where I have marks going either direction. So if I was going to shade it in blue, I would shade in everything except this little spot right there where there's no marks either direction. This is so much fun working with this little tablet. Does that make sense to everybody? Well, let's go to number 8. Now here's the answer to number 8 sitting out here. You go, how do we get that? Okay, let's go back to black again. The union of A and B. That would be putting A and B together, wouldn't it? So if I put A and B together, doesn't that give me all of this stuff right here? Would that be the union of A and B? And then what does it say to do next? Subtract A. Let's just change that to red. Subtract A. So that means I'm going to take away from what I have here. I'm going to take away A. And what does that leave me with? See that little part I've colored in? That leaves me with all of this. Let's go to blue, since that's the blue line. So what does that leave me with? That leaves me with all of this right here. That would be the union of A and B minus A. Everybody follow that? Well, then let's do another one. Number 10. And all we're doing here is just drawing Venn diagrams. You're learning how to draw Venn diagrams. Oh no, in number 10, look what it says. In problems 9 through 17, use the numbered regions in the diagram below to identify each specified set. So for number 10, what's C? Look at C in the picture. What numbers are in C?
4, 5, 7, 6.
4, 5, 7, 6. Everybody see that? So I just put down here 4, 5, 7, 6 to represent C. What's the union of A and B? Put your finger on A, put your finger on B, and what numbers did you just cover up with your finger? What numbers did you just touch when you put A and B together? 1, 5, 7, 3, 2, 6. Now, you go, no, it should be 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. You can say it any way you want, can't you? The sets are going to be the same, no matter what order they're in. And then we want to do the intersection. So where do those intersect? What does intersect mean? It means what's in both sets. There's not a 4 in both, but there's a 5 in both. And there's a 7 in both. And there's a 6 in both. So what's my answer? The set whose elements are 5, 6, 7. Everybody follow what we did? Are we having fun? I'm the only one having fun. I see a couple of smiles out there. Okay, let's go to number 12. Number 12 says A intersect B prime union A intersect C prime. Okay, this has a whole bunch of problems packaged together. So what's A? Look at the picture. Put your finger on A, and what numbers did you just touch? 1, 3, 5, 7? Now, B, put your finger on B, and now we're not saying what numbers did we touch because it's the B complement. So I put my finger on B, and what numbers are left that I can read? 1, 5, 4, 8. Everybody see that? And now I'm looking for the intersection of 1, 3, 5, 7 and 1, 5, 4, 8. And what would that be? 1 and 5. The elements that are common, the elements that are found in each one. So the first part of this problem, this whole part right here, is this right here. Now we do the second part of the problem. But the first part of the problem had like what? 1, 2, 3 things we had to do to get to the answer. So see, when I look at your homework, I don't want to just see the answer down here. I want you to show me how you got there, if you want credit for doing the homework. So now let's come over here and do this part. What's A? Look at A again. What numbers are in A? 1, 3, 5, 7. And then it says C complement. So I put my finger on C, and the complement of C is everything in the universe that's not in C. So what do I see when I cover up C with my finger? 1, 3, 2, 8. And then I look for the intersection again. And where do those intersect? At 1 and 3. So there's the answer to this side of the problem. Now I'm looking, I'll just change colors here. Now I'm looking for the union of this and this. What does union mean?
Put together.
Put them together. So I have to have 1 and 5 and 3, and there's my final answer. Was that one fun? Well, I don't see as many smiles this time. Let's do 16. 16. B intersect C prime intersect A. And so since it didn't say which way to do it, since it didn't put parentheses, I did it both ways just to show you it doesn't matter. You come out with the same answer. So here's B. Everybody see where B is 2, 3, 7, 6? You see where I'm getting my numbers? If you don't, raise your hand so I can talk about it some more. Good. Okay, and what's the complement of C? Again, put your finger on C, and what's left in the universe? 1, 3, 2, 8. And then what's the intersection of those? The set whose element is 3. Then over here, what's A? 1, 5, 7, 3. 1, 5, 7, 3. And then what's the intersection of this and this? The set whose element is 3. Everybody follow what I'm doing? Good. Good. And if I did it the other way, if I did the complement of C intersect A, I get 1 and 3. If I do, where does that intersect with? Where does that, no. Where does that well, what's going on here? Where does that, oh my goodness, something doesn't like me today. Where does that intersect with B? Right here at 3. Everybody see that? So I get the same answer no matter which way I work it. Okay, what do we got now? 18. What am I going to do for 18? In problems 18 to 25, draw a Venn diagram to illustrate each specified set. Okay, watch what 18 says. X is an, oh, let's go to red. It's easier to see for the people online. X is an element of A, or X is an element of B. Okay, everybody remember how to draw these pictures? I draw my box with my universe, then I make a circle A, and I make a circle B. Well, there's my other B. My other circle's gone. I'll have to put that one back. Now, if I'm going to put X as an element of A, let's erase this red line here for a minute. If X is an element of A, then that means I'm going to shade in all of A. Everybody follow what I'm doing? If it says X, well, let's use blue. If X is an element of B, then I'm going to shade in all of B. Then if it says or, that means it can be, or means it can be either red or blue. So that means I would shade in all the red and all the blue. If it would have said and, oh, did you catch this? Or is union and is intersection. Probably just put that in your notes. If it's or, then it's union. If it's and, then it's intersection. And if this would have said X is an element of A and X is an element of B, that would be that little area right in between. You see that? Where the red and the blue overlap. But that's not what it said. It said or, so that means I shade in any place where I have red or blue lines. Everybody follow what I did? Good. Let's do number 20. Well, let's just erase all of this. How cool is that? This little tablet is quite the machine. Anybody have one of these little tablets that you can write on like this? What really kills me is when I bought this tablet, I think it was like $300 or $400, something like that. And then I said, how do I write on it? And they said, you buy one of these magic pencils. Now, what would you think a magic pencil would cost? 5, 10, 15 bucks? Not when it's sold by Microsoft. $100. I go, whoa, you people, that's like going to buy a car and they tell you that, oh, you want to drive the car off the lot? The keys will cost you another $100. Come on, people. Okay, enough of that. Let's do problem 20. So X is an element of A. So that means I put these black marks in A. And X is an element of B. So, no, it didn't say an element of B. Did I copy that down right? X is not an element of B. So if it's not an element of B, then where is it? It's everything outside of B. Everybody follow that? You got to read it carefully. Everything outside of B. Okay? And then it says, change to green, then it says and. Now, remember, and is intersection. So where do the red marks and the black marks overlap? Because that would be intersection, wouldn't it?
A.
All of A or just this much of A? Everybody see that? Where I've got that little A with the bite out of it? Everybody see why I don't use that part over there? Because there's no red marks in the part that's in B. Because it has to be not an element of B and an element of A. So it's where A intersects with anything outside of B. Everybody see where I get the green area that I just made there? Boy, that's fun making these colors. 22. What's 22 say? X is an element of A. So that would be here. And X is an element of B. So that would be here. But because it says and, that means what? And is what?
Intersection.
Intersection. So that's where the red and the green overlap, which would be all of this area right in here. Everybody see that? Good. Let's do 24. How much fun is this thing? Just scrolls on to infinity. 24. Sorry, I'm having so much fun with my new toy. Tool, not toy, tool. 24. X is an element of A. So let's just do that in red. X is an element of A. So that means I would just take A and fill it in. Or X is an element of B. Let's do B in blue. Or X is an element of C. Let's do C in green. Now, since it says or and or, what is or? Union. So that means I'm going to unite the red, the blue, and the green. So anything that's red, blue, or green satisfies this condition. If it would have said and, then the only thing that would satisfy that condition would be the place where I have both red, green, and blue, and that would be this tiny little triangle-shaped thing right there in the middle. But because it says or, that means I just shade in everything that's red, green, or blue. And when you take the test over this chapter, that's what they'll show. Okay, here's what'll happen. On the test, it'll show 4 pictures, and you'll have to decide which picture represents this. And the only way you figure it out is just by taking colored pencils and working through the process and shading in the stuff to make the picture. Then you look to see which picture matches your answer. If you go, oh, I think it would be this one, you'll probably guess wrong. Okay, are we ready for 26? In problems 26 to 29, draw a Venn diagram that satisfies each equation. So what I have here is an equation that says the intersection of A and B is empty set. So if they don't intersect, then how would I draw them? Here's A, and here's B, and they don't intersect. You follow that? That's all I'm doing, is just drawing a picture. Maybe I should take these out of here. I have a box with a universe, then I say A and B do not intersect, so I draw A, and then I draw B out here, and that's the answer to the question. That's what they want me to do. Draw a Venn diagram to satisfy this condition. Let's go to 28. 28 has 3 circles, A, B, and C. And it says the union of A and B, so that would be A and B together. You follow that? And then intersect with C. Why did I put C down here? Because what's the answer to intersecting with C? Empty set, so that means they don't intersect. So I put C down here by itself. Okay? Number 27. Why am I doing 27? Oh, because there's not an even problem like this, so I thought you might get hung up on it. So I'll work it for you. So I'll do another one of your homework problems. A intersect B equals B. That means when A and B intersect, the intersection is B. So here's A. And here's B. And if I want the intersection, no, let's change that to green. If I want the intersection to equal B, then that means B has to be inside of A. You follow the thinking there? Good. Good. Number 30. In problems 30 through 34, use the numbered regions in the diagram for 9 through 17. So we're back on page 80 looking at that picture to verify each equality. Here's the equality they're talking about. So they want me to verify that this equals this. Okay, look at the picture on page 80. What's the union of A and B? Have we done enough of this now to where you're starting to get an eye for it? Look at A and B. What's the union of A and B? What numbers are in the, put your finger on A and B and then take your finger off, and what were the numbers you covered up? 1, 5, 7, 3, 2, 6? Everybody follow that? And let's look at B union A. Cover up B union A. Oh. What is that? 2, 6, 3, 7, 1, 5? 2, 6, 7, 3, 1, 5? Are those two sets equal? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Yes, they are. They're just out of order. Okay, so let's go to 30B. Again, they want us to verify that these two are equal. What's the intersection of A and B? Here's A, here's B. What do they have in common? 3 and 7. Everybody see that? What's the intersection of B and A? Same thing, 3 and 7. That's all they're wanting you to do here. Number 32. Demonstrate that this equals all of this. Whoa. What's A? What's A? 1, 3, 5, 7. What's B intersect C? B intersect C, 7 and 6. What's the union of 1, 3, 5, 7 and 7 and 6? 1, 3, 5, 7, 6. Am I going too fast? You see what happened? I made A, and I made the intersection of B and C. Then I came down here and said, what's the union of those two? What happens when I unite this with this? I get 1, 3, 5, 7, 6. Let's come over here. What's the union of A and B? A and B, 1, 5, 7, 3, 2, 6. 1, 5, 7, 3, 2, 6. And what's the union of A and C? A and C, 1, 3, 7, 5, 4, 6. 1, 3, 7, 5, 4, 6. And what's the intersection of those two sets? Well, it would be a 1 and a 5 and a 7 and a 3 and a 6. Everybody see what I'm doing? Good. Any questions? Number 36. 36. Referring to the diagram in problems 9 through 17, back on page 80, put your finger by the picture. The set of regions 1, 2, 3 represents which? And they give me A, B, C. Does it represent this or this? Or what else? 36, A, B, or C? Or D? Or E? None of these. You go, how do I know? Well, you just start with the first one, with A. You start with A and you work it. What's A union B? Look at the picture. A union B. 1, 5, 7, 3, 2, 6. Where does that intersect with, what's C? C is 4, 5, 7, 6. Where do those intersect? 5, 7, 6. You follow me? Okay. Intersect means what's in both of them. There's a 5. There's a 7, and there's a 6. Everybody follow that? There's a 5 and a 7 and a 6. So there's my answer to A. Does that match 1, 2, 3? No. So A is not the correct answer. So we go to B. What's A union B? Put A and B together. 1, 5, 3, 7, 2, 6. What's the complement of C? Well, put your finger on C so you can't see it, and what numbers do you see in the universe? 1, 3, 2, 8. And what's the intersection of those two? 1, 3, 2. Say, where'd you get that? Here's a 1. There's no 5. Here's a 3. There's no 7. And here's a 2. There's no 6 or 8 in both of them. And 1, 3, 2. Is that my answer? Yeah. So you see, I worked A, I worked B, so the answer is B. So I don't have to work C and D. I don't have to keep going. In other words, you just start working through them until you find it. And if the answer would have been D, then I would have had to work all of them to get to the final answer. You go, that's a lot of work. Yeah, it is. But guess what? My book says stop when you get to 37. So we still have 10 minutes of class and only one more problem to work. You go, wow, it seems like we've been here longer than that. Well, we haven't. So this doesn't take that long if you just keep walking through the process. So let's do 38 just for fun, but you stop at 37. 38. Now, watch what it says. Given. It has a whole bunch of given information. And here's what's given. A intersect B is BD. So, watch what I do. Where A and B intersect is BD. Everybody follow that? Just what we were doing in the very first problem. And A intersect C is BC. So I put BC. Oh wait, there's a B in both of those, isn't there? So I can erase that B and put it right here because it's in both. You follow what we did with that first problem? So now I've got, maybe I should change this to, is that going to let me erase that one? It doesn't want to erase, huh? Okay, so I've got D. Let's go back to black again. So I've got D, and what was that? Was that C? B and C? Yeah, I've got C and D and B. Now I come over here and look at the union of A and B. So when I put A and B together, I get BC, DE. Well, here's B and C, and here's D, but where's E? Well, E has to be out here in B because it's not in A, but it's in the union of those two. And then what's the union of A and C? A, B, C, D. So here's, I need an A, so that has to be down here in C, and B, C, D, B, C, and D is already in A. So A is B, C, D, and C is A, C, B. Now that I've drawn this picture, what are the elements of A? B, C, D. What are the elements of B? B, D, E. What are the elements of C? A, C, B. But they didn't quit there. What's the intersection of A and B? A and B intersect. That would be D and B. Everybody follow that? A and B intersect is D and B. And where does that intersect with C? At B. Everybody see that? Where does D and B, where does the set D and B intersect with the set A, C, B? Only at B. And then the last one is the union of A and B and C. If I put A and B and C all together, that's going to be A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E. And that's it. And we still finished 5 minutes early. So that means I'll turn off the recording and I'll answer questions from any of your homework or from any of the problems for today that you're having trouble with. But remember, stop when you get to 37. 37 is your last problem. And thank you for letting me sit down to teach this class today.